Hi God First, good afternoon. Just wanted to bring you a short update. We're going to have some updates from Lucy about the marriage course. We're going to have some updates from Christopher about groups, but I just wanted to speak to you about one or two things. First thing I'd like to speak to you is, how do we navigate through this debate or this issue that's been called Black Lives Matter? I really want to encourage us to have grace towards each other. I really don't want us to feel that people are going to be judging us, or that we can't talk or we can't pray about this issue for fear of being seen as misspeaking or being misunderstood. I think there's real complexity in this issue, and we need to have much grace towards each other. People in a church like ours are going to have different points of view, and people can have different political persuasions, and that's okay. What we do all agree is that God is committed to justice and to righteousness, and we want to explore that in a way that we can respond to this issue in a way that people don't ask questions about the leaders' hearts or the hearts of people in God First. We know that you've got good hearts and you want to find the right way forward. So I just want to encourage you to be free to speak and to be free to talk and be free to discuss, and don't worry about being judged for that. I think one of the tragedy of this so-called woke environment is that it seeks to create simplistic answers out of complex issues, and it seeks to put good guys and bad guys, and life's never like that. Life's not so easy just to say, well, Winston Churchill is this kind of guy or Winston Churchill's that kind of guy. It's much more complex, and we need to understand and be mature as we do about that. So would you do that for me? Would you promise not to overreact? If somebody says something that you disagree with, seek to understand what they've said, seek to listen again to what they've said, seek to be people of grace to each other. So will you do that for me? I know you will. Second thing I'd like to speak to you about is about money. I am so delighted in the way that you have responded and continue to respond in giving to God and giving to the work of God First Church. Our finances were tight, but we managed to have a big gift aid claim. So thank you for those that fill in gift aid forms who are taxpayers. We had a gift aid reclaim, got about 24,000 back. So our bank account is now looking healthy. We don't know how the long-term impacts of this coronavirus is going to hit us. We've got a mercy fund with about £4,000 in it, and we've not had to use much of that, but we know that as furloughing stops and the government stops paying furloughs and stops paying for businesses, that we may hit another difficult spot. And so I just want you to be aware that we're monitoring that, and if you've got issues related to finance, related to COVID or others, then please do speak to us. Tom Hunting will speak to you, and we'll try to help if we can. The other thing is, on Sunday, Advance Global is going to be launching a mercy fund for the nations, for those in the global south, particularly in Nepal or Africa, that don't have the safety net that a large government and welfare state and a healthy economy can cope with. And so we hopefully will be hearing from what's happening in Nepal on Sunday. But I just want to tell you that we will be asking you again. And clearly, if you can't give into that fund, that's fine. If you can, we'd really encourage you to do that, and we'll tell you how to do that on Sunday. God First has been so generous. Last time we took an instant offering for Nepal. We raised £4,000 on one Sunday morning, and I know that you'll respond again.
Hey everybody, this is just a short promo video for you to sign up to the marriage course. It's likened very much to if your car needs a service. Often you sometimes think your car's running fine, but you pop the hood and find that sometimes the oil needs changing or it needs a bit of a tweak. So just encourage you, it's not if your marriage is failing or broken by any means, but an opportunity to enhance your marriage through that. So just encourage you to sign up for that.
It's a really manageable course, only 4 weeks long, done online. So it's really accessible for both believers and non-believers as well. We found it to be a really positive course, focusing on the good parts of your marriage and reminding you to focus on those things that you might have just accidentally ignored for a little while. I think for us, it's just helped us to spend some time talking about us, which in the busyness of life you can just forget to do, or you just don't prioritise it. So it's a fantastic evening, and really encourage you guys.
So the course is due to start on Monday. We want to try and encourage you to do it with another pair if possible, so have a think about who you could go with. If you're struggling with that, then we can match it with another pair, that's not a problem. And then we're going to have a final Zoom on the final week just with everybody that's done the course, so it should be really good fun.
Hey God First. We, as a part of our G1C, met up on Cleve Hill this last weekend. And it was fantastic to see that everybody had a lower half of the body. We were starting to doubt that. We've been looking at each other through a Zoom box for so long, and I can confirm they're all there. And it was so good. Bluetooth hugs, Bluetooth high fives. It was such a great time to see each other again. And it's a privilege as the government is relaxing some of its guidelines on social distancing. We can now meet up to 6 people outside in our gardens or going for a walk up on Cleve Hill. Let's use these opportunities. If you're in a G1C, maybe half the G1C up there at any one time, or meeting in the garden, maybe meeting as ladies, gentlemen separately. So let's go for that. Use those opportunities. And also the ideal time to kickstart our threes, get them back to high gear. Most threes were meeting either weekly or fortnightly, and we now have the chance to move off online, back into face-to-face time of brothering and sistering as we want to help each other become more like Jesus. The reality is that with this constant change, it really does sap energy, both mental, physical, and spiritual energy from people. So the encouragement is just keep eating well, resting well, exercise well, eat well in God, rest well in God. In other words, read, pray, meditate on God, keep ourselves ready and able to manage all of these changes. We really will need to fight for the change inside of us from a place of total lockdown and isolation back into normality and a community-orientated lifestyle. So I want to say, let's go for it. Let's go big. Let's keep leaning into God so that we can maximize these new regulations for our joy and the benefit of others and God's glory. Bless you guys.
Say lastly about Sunday mornings. Our team have done super well. It's hard to preach to camera, and our preachers have done well. It's difficult to do worship for camera, to get the audio and the visual working well, and I really want to thank our musicians who've served us in that way for that. Our kids workers have been brilliant. Lucy and the team have been super creative, from thankfulness, paper chains to Easter gardens and palm trees, and just generally served as well. And so thank you to everybody who's involved in that. I do encourage you, if you've got children, to go on the website to look at the material that's there to keep your kids focused on Jesus and to keep them entertained. And lastly, we really want the Sundays to be about an hour. We're not looking for the Sundays to be longer, and we're not just trying to reproduce Sunday morning meetings that are exactly the same as we had in the Prabla. What we're trying to do is to serve you so that you can connect with God spiritually and also connect with each other. Thank you for those that are jumping on the coffee Zoom. I'd encourage you to keep doing that. And some of you think, oh, that's a little bit nervous. Just plug in. It's 15 minutes, quick chat, nothing heavy, just to chat. And please keep connecting. So we want to try and do that. And we want to get lots and lots of you on camera. Thank you for those that sent pictures of their wedding pictures. That was so much fun. And I did think I looked particularly charming in my wedding picture. And it's sad to see how age has changed me and not changed Naomi at all. Okay, but in the next couple of weeks, we want to encourage you to send us videos. The first week, because Christopher this week is going to be talking about suffering, we'd love you to send videos called First World Problems. So this is my first world problem. This kettle, it's made by Breville, but I'm not against Breville. It's a lovely red colour and it's served as well. But it is so incredibly noisy. When the kettle goes on, it is like a siren going off in the house. You can't hear yourself think. If you're in a phone call, forget it. If you're trying to have a conversation in the kitchen, forget it. So this kettle has become a source of irritation for me. So I have got rid of this kettle and bought a new one. Hashtag first world problems. I think it's slightly ironic that Stan has now taken this kettle and is hoping to have it when he gets himself a new house. But hey, first world problems for other people. But so just send us really quickly a video just saying, I have had a really noisy kettle and I've replaced it. First world problems. Just send us that. I just want to mention is that on the 21st of June, it's Father's Day. And I know many of us, again, it's a complex issue with fathers. Many have had good relationships with fathers, some have not so good. And we don't want to suggest that it's all straightforward, but we'd love you to send a video that just starts with, I love my father because, a really short video with 2 or 3 sentences. I love my father because he loved the word of God and because he loved the poor. He's such a gentleman. Something like that. So please send us that. Send it to wetransfer.com, G1Cheltenham@gmail.com, and we'll cut them together. So this week, first world problems, and next week, why I love my dad. And we'd love to get as many faces, young and old, on there. And then lastly, before I sign off, I just want to tell you the sad news of Tim Keller. Tim Keller is a pastor in New York City and has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is a particularly challenging cancer, and we want to pray for Tim Keller that in God's grace there'd be healing. Also keep praying for Sheshi Kiniki, a pastor in Tanzania that we support, who had a brain tumour removed and has got stage 4 brain cancer. Just keep praying. We know sometimes it's difficult when God doesn't heal, but we can never say that God doesn't care. So keep praying, pray for Tim Keller, pray for Sheshi, pray for those in our community that we know need grace and healing. Let's believe that God heals people. God first, thanks for listening. If you've got all this way through, I really love you, really appreciate it. I can't wait until lockdown's lifted and we can meet together, and I'm not talking to my camera, but I'm talking to you lovely people face to face. So God bless and see you soon.